Okay, so this video will explain what are voice AI pods inside VoiceAIWrapper and how do these work and how can you set it up, right? So for starters, we have given you a voice AI pod with some data, because if you're starting off, you won't have much data and you won't be able to visualize what will show up and how it's going to work once you've set it up correctly. So what is a voice AI pod to start with? A voice AI pod is basically a connection with your voice API provider. So let's say if you're using VAPI, one voice API VAPI org and their respective key connected with VoiceAIWrapper is one voice AI pod. Similarly, you can add multiple orgs, VAPI orgs, or multiple workspaces from Retell, or multiple orgs from ElevenLabs, and you can create multiple pods inside VoiceAIWrapper and use it for different clients. So let's take a look at a sample voice AI pod. So if I go inside this pod, I now get the voice AI pod specific controls, right? So the voice AI pod has items which are synced from your provider. Depending on what all assets you're there in your voice API provider, it'll sync them, including assistants, phone numbers, tools, knowledge base, whatever exists, it will sync it, right? And then it'll add some features which are voice AI wrapper specific features, starting with the ability to add number pools. So number pools is the ability to add hundreds of numbers that work in a randomized fashion if you're doing high volume calling, both inbound and outbound. And then you can associate these pools to campaigns. We differentiate inbound and outbound calling into inbound and outbound campaigns, and there's entire cadence that you can use for both inbound and outbound, and we'll show that in detail when we do videos for inbound and outbound campaigns. All right, so this is how number pools work. Next, we come to campaigns. So again, we populated this with a few sample campaigns. So if you take a look at the outbound campaign, you are able to add leads via API from any source. You can feed leads from your CRM system. There's a add lead, there's a remove lead, and there's an update lead API. Which means you can do speed to call campaigns. If somebody's filling up a lead form, for example, you can immediately feed that lead into a campaign, trigger a call with an AI agent, qualify it, and book a meeting on your calendar. Yeah. Of course, you have the option to upload via CSV, and you can add leads manually. Next up, under campaign settings, you have an option to select. In case of VAPI, you can select either an assistant or a squad or a workflow. You can pick either a single number or you can pick a number pool in case you have multiple numbers connected to a pool. There's a smart feature called callback feature. I'll show it to you in a live campaign. This allows the agent to call back a contact. If a contact picks up the call and says, "Call me back in 5 minutes," this empowers the agent to be able to call back and improves your connect rate. Then you have campaign schedule. You have control over what days of the week your agent should be calling, how many dial attempts it should be making per lead, what is the maximum number of dial attempts per lead, and the gap between calls, and so forth. Lastly, you have an option to add a webhook here. So let's say you're running end-to-end automation or a make automation, or you use GHL or HubSpot or Pipedrive, and you want to send all the campaign information, the call logs information over to a third-party system. This is where you will add the inbound webhook, and you can round trip between, let's say, a GHL by adding leads via API and then sending all the campaign information back to GHL, for example, using the inbound webhook. All right. So similarly, we have inbound campaigns. So when you set up, when you want to set up an inbound assistant, you would set up an inbound campaign. This also gives you the ability to create a web widget. I'll show that to you in detail in one of our demo pods. Let me go here. And if I move over to this demo campaign, there you go. So I have this is just an example. You can add logos, you can add styling, and you can do a whole lot of stuff to your widget. So this is something that you can add to your client's website in case you're an agency running this for a client. The embed code is going to be white label, of course, and this is a value add that you can offer on top of giving them access to a inbound assistant. So that covers campaigns. Now, a couple of other things. When you're running inbound campaigns, you will have your account populated with contacts. So everybody who's calling in, it'll add it as a contact. So this works like a mini CRM. It's not supposed to be one, but you will be able to, add all contacts to your account, including the call log. So this is the account level contact history and the account level call history. And when you go to a specific campaign, you will get the campaign level lead information and the campaign level call information. Okay, so this is how this is the information that's available inside VoiceAI Pod. It has some quick links to go into campaigns and logs. You can also use this toggle to control what concurrency you want to allocate to your campaigns, whether you want to use all your concurrency limit for outbound or whether you want to use them for inbound. Again, the concurrency limit is based on what your provider gives you. We do not control or manage concurrency. We just allow you to decide how much concurrency you're going to use for an account. So that's it. That's how voice API AI pods work. And the assets that you create, when I say assets, the campaigns that you create, the assistants that you sync, everything that you sync inside a specific voice API pod, this then becomes available to be associated with client accounts. So we'll do another detailed video on client accounts, but when you create a client account, you under client configuration, you get an option to associate assets. And these assets are the ones that you create inside your voice AI pod. I hope this was helpful. We'll look forward to meeting you on the next video.